Dinar Daily, your source for the latest developments in global currency. For a long time, the prospect of a revaluation of the Iraqi dinar has been a subject of intense discussion. The idea that a nation rich with resources, particularly oil, could one day restore its currency to a value that reflects its economic potential has captivated a global audience. This narrative has spanned from online forums to more serious geopolitical discussions, creating a vibrant but often speculative environment. The discourse around the dinar has been persistent, even as mainstream economic views have dismissed it as largely unfounded speculation. For years, the dinar conversation has been filled with rumors and unofficial information, often leading to a landscape of speculation and uncertainty. This environment has seen the rise of various market players and information channels dedicated to this topic, all operating without official government confirmation. The discussions have at times led to confusion, creating a cottage industry of seminars and dealers focused on the dinar. Despite the constant stream of unofficial news, there was a consistent lack of any formal, verifiable document from the Iraqi government that could substantiate the claims and hopes of many investors. That period of waiting for official word seems to have shifted dramatically with a recent publication in the Iraqi Gazette, the official legal journal of the country. This document is a significant departure from the previous informal speculation, as it represents a formal government-sanctioned blueprint. It is not an unverified rumor, but a legally binding framework issued directly by the Iraqi government. This development is fundamentally changing the way financial experts, investors, and policymakers are viewing Iraq's monetary future. The publication is a highly detailed, 42-page document released by the Central Bank of Iraq. It provides a clear, step-by-step plan for how the currency exchange will be handled. The plan is structured in a phased approach, providing operational clarity that was never available before. The document carries significant legal weight, moving the conversation from mere speculation to a structured, tangible process. This is the first time such a comprehensive and official framework has been presented to the public, detailing exactly how the exchange will proceed within Iraq and eventually for international holders. According to the official text, the initial phase is designed to focus on Iraqi citizens. They will be given priority access to the new exchange mechanisms through national banks, a strategic move intended to foster local stability and rebuild trust in the domestic monetary system. This initial step underscores the government's commitment to its own population before addressing external interests. It is a critical foundation-building phase aimed at ensuring the internal financial system is robust and that the public has confidence in the process. Following the initial phase, the second stage will focus on institutions operating within Iraq. This includes corporations, non-governmental organizations, and other local financial entities. This systematic progression ensures that all key components of the Iraqi economy are addressed and integrated into the new system before opening the process to foreign participants. This methodical approach is designed to prevent disruptions and manage the liquidity of the exchange process effectively. Only after these first two critical phases are complete will the third phase commence, which is dedicated to foreign holders of the dinar. The document specifies that international investors will be subject to a strict and meticulous verification process. The requirements are designed to be thorough and rigorous. International investors will need to provide original purchase receipts, valid government-issued identification, notarized documentation, and in certain situations, an affidavit that proves their banking or digital wallet history. The Central Bank of Iraq's intention behind these stringent requirements is transparent: to eliminate fraudulent activity, ensure complete traceability of all funds, and legitimize every single exchange. The process is a clear signal that the central bank is prioritizing integrity and security above all else. By demanding such comprehensive documentation, they're creating a system that is resilient against bad actors and ensures that only legitimate holdings are processed. A notable part of the document is its list of 34 officially sanctioned exchange institutions, which includes several U.S.-based affiliate banks. This is a crucial detail for American investors, many of whom have long been part of the speculative community. This inclusion means that when the exchange process reaches their tier, they will have structured and official access, bypassing the need to rely on unofficial channels, and a move that provides a legitimate path for a significant portion of the international holding community. In a move that aligns with modern financial practices, the Central Bank of Iraq has also mandated that any exchange transaction exceeding $250,000 must be verified using blockchain protocols. This requirement is intended to ensure transparency and minimize the risk of fraud for large transactions. This forward-thinking approach demonstrates Iraq's intent to integrate its financial system with modern global standards, signaling a commitment to a secure and transparent future for its currency. The ripple effects of the Iraqi Gazette's publication were felt almost immediately within the United States, where a significant portion of the dinar investment community is located. Within just hours of the announcement, prominent currency dealers like Treasury Vault, Safe Dinar, and IQD bankers issued urgent advisories to their clients. Their collective message was a clear and concise directive: begin preparing your documentation without delay. The advisory highlighted a pivotal shift from a focus on waiting for rumors to a focus on practical readiness for a concrete, government-backed process. The sudden transition from years of anticipation to tangible, actionable steps created a sense of both excitement and urgency among dinar holders. This new reality demanded a change in mindset from a passive, watchful posture to one of active preparation. The need for a proactive approach became paramount for those who wished to be ready for the exchange process once it officially opened. Reports began to surface that regional U.S. banks, particularly those located in states known for a high concentration of dinar holders such as Texas, Florida, and Nevada, had received coordination memos from their Iraqi counterparts. According to banking insiders, these memos provided early guidance on compliance expectations and exchange procedures. This internal communication further underscored the seriousness and logistical readiness of the process, indicating that the groundwork was being laid on an international scale. For individual investors, this information meant that there was no longer a valid reason to postpone preparations. Financial experts recommend several immediate steps for investors to take. These include securing proof of purchase, whether through original dealer receipts or notarized statements, and compiling a detailed currency inventory with photographs and serial numbers of each note. This organized approach is critical because the new system places a strong emphasis on Know Your Customer (KYC) compliance. Those who fail to prepare may experience significant delays or even risk disqualification during the verification process. The U.S. response to the official Iraqi framework highlights a significant truth: what was once viewed as speculative chatter has now become a logistical reality requiring immediate attention. Financial markets are highly sensitive to signals of monetary reform, and the Gazette announcement has already triggered movements in unofficial trading spaces. Off-market, peer-to-peer, and secondary platforms saw a surge in trading activity for the Iraqi dinar almost immediately after the news broke. Reports indicate that the dinar's valuation on these platforms has spiked as high as $322 per dinar, a massive increase from its historical black market ranges. This sudden surge reflects both the speculative enthusiasm of traders and the growing perception that the currency's value is on the brink of a significant realization. While some analysts are quick to caution that these spikes are driven by speculation, others argue that they are early indicators of a structural shift in how undervalued currencies are perceived. This development in Iraq has had notable spillover effects on other currencies that have long been considered undervalued or speculative. The Vietnamese dong, VND, for instance, appreciated by 1.4% against the US dollar within a single 24-hour period. While this might not seem like a dramatic movement in the broader foreign exchange market, it is a meaningful shift for a tightly controlled currency. Similarly, the Zimbabwean dollar, ZWL, experienced a 2.7% futures spike on Harare-based trading platforms, Reflecting a renewed interest, traders are now placing speculative values on the dong ranging between 10 cents and 13 cents, which is well above its current pegged levels. Likewise, unofficial rates for the ZWL have seen a jump of over 30% in just a few days. While some analysts warn that these movements are a result of heightened speculation rather than sustainable value, others suggest that these ripples are early indicators of a larger structural change. The fact that these surges are now backed by a legitimate government framework creates a level of confidence that was not present before. The insights from experts provide crucial context that goes beyond the headlines. Dr. Samir Al-Jabouri, a former advisor to the Central Bank of Iraq, stated that this is not a test but the real activation phase, a statement that carries significant weight due to his first-hand knowledge of Iraq's monetary authorities. Similarly, Dr. Ella Porter, a former IMF economist, noted that Iraq's actions are aligning with global benchmarks. She believes this signals the start of a series of liquidity events that could have consequences far beyond Iraq, potentially affecting U.S. banks and global bond markets. Legal analysts have also weighed in, highlighting a new advantage for foreign investors. For the first time, foreign investors will have documented legal standing in cases where institutions fail to comply with exchange procedures. This legal clarity is a significant development, as a lack of legal standing has long been a deterrent for larger financial players. Collectively, these expert opinions emphasize that the Gazette release is not merely a symbolic gesture, but a fundamental restructuring of Iraq's position in the global financial order. Beyond Iraq, the expert commentary reinforces a broader idea that undervalued currencies are entering a new era of scrutiny. This era is one where official frameworks, rather than rumors, will increasingly dictate expectations and value. The consensus among these experts is clear. Investors who do not take this seriously do so at their own risk, as the opportunity window is not only real but also time-sensitive. The importance of preparing now for a legitimate process is the central takeaway from these professional assessments. While the Iraqi dinar rightfully dominates the headlines, the Gazette's publication has reignited interest in other speculative currencies, notably the Vietnamese dong and the Zimbabwean dollar. In Vietnam's case, the nation's economic fundamentals are compelling, with over 7% GDP growth reported in the second quarter of 2025, driven by a strong manufacturing and export sector. Analysts suggest that the dong, which has been pegged at artificially low values to boost exports, could gradually appreciate as the country further integrates into global supply chains. Some projections even place the dong's potential rise between 5 cents and 7 cents per US dollar, which would represent a remarkable increase from its current values. This scenario highlights how structural economic growth can serve as a powerful catalyst for currency appreciation. The Iraqi announcement, by validating the concept of a government-backed currency reform, has brought a new level of attention to Vietnam's economic trajectory and the potential for a gradual revaluation of its currency. Zimbabwe offers a different but equally fascinating case. After enduring decades of hyperinflation and multiple currency failures, the country introduced a gold-backed system in 2024. This bold move has begun to stabilize the Zimbabwean dollar, restoring a measure of domestic trust and attracting cautious optimism from international observers. Now, speculation centers on a forthcoming IMF review scheduled for later this year. If Zimbabwe successfully secures reapproval and re-enters the global financial system with institutional backing, the ZWL could undergo a dramatic transformation for strategic investors. This creates a diversified portfolio of opportunities. The Iraqi dinar presents a government-backed activation event. The Vietnamese dong leverages structural economic growth, and the Zimbabwean dollar offers a high-risk, high-reward play tied to a resource-backed monetary reform. Together, these currencies illustrate a broader narrative. Undervalued nations are no longer content with operating on the fringes of the financial world. They are taking proactive steps with strategies that could fundamentally change the global landscape of currency trading in the coming years. The Iraqi Gazette's publication has not only outlined a framework for currency exchanges, but it has also established a definitive timeline for investors and institutions. Within the next 30 days, the Central Bank of Iraq is scheduled to activate its verification systems, which will be the first real test of the infrastructure that has been in development for years. This system is designed to allow for both digital and manual validation of notes, ensuring that counterfeits are effectively identified and neutralized. During this 30-day window, Tier 1 U.S. banks are also preparing to launch soft appointments. These initial consultations will allow clients to pre-submit their documentation, establish their eligibility, and secure priority slots for when the official exchange windows open. Additionally, online tools are expected to be released, offering holders the ability to run exchange simulations and estimate conversions under various rate scenarios. This period is a critical phase for both institutions and investors to get their ducks in a row as the timeline progresses into the 60-day window. Analysts anticipate that the Iraqi dinar will begin to appear on major forex indices. This will not be as a freely floating currency initially, but as a benchmark reference, signaling its gradual integration into the global financial system. During this phase, institutional redemptions are expected to commence under strict non-disclosure agreements, allowing large financial players to move early without causing market destabilization. The OF is also expected to issue a compliance bulletin, further aligning Iraq's actions with international monetary policies. By the 90-day mark, the full public exchange windows are projected to open for ordinary investors. At this time, contract rate redemptions, which are available to certain pre-qualified holders, will also begin to be negotiated. Meanwhile, the ripple effects on other undervalued currencies like the Vietnamese dong and the Zimbabwean dollar are expected to accelerate, creating a broader wave of activity across emerging market currency sectors. The official timetable provides a clear sense of when things will unfold, but for investors, preparation will be the real differentiator. A disciplined action plan can make all the difference between a smooth participation in the exchange process and missing the window entirely. The first step for any investor is to conduct a thorough audit of their holdings, which means more than just counting notes. A proper audit involves creating an organized record that includes serial numbers, scanned images, and secure backups stored both physically and digitally. This meticulous approach ensures that all holdings can be easily verified when the time comes. The second crucial step involves gathering all necessary documentation: original dealer receipts, valid government-issued identification, and proof of address are non-negotiable requirements under the Central Bank of Iraq's new compliance framework. These documents are the keys to a successful exchange and must be secured well in advance. Neglecting this step could lead to extensive delays and potential disqualification during the verification process, particularly given the emphasis on KYC compliance. Once documentation is secured, investors must decide on their exchange path. Options range from traditional bank redemptions at Tier 1 institutions to broker-facilitated transactions or specialized contract redemptions. Each option may offer different advantages, with some potentially providing preferential rates but coming with stricter conditions and NDAs. Making an informed decision about the exchange path is a critical part of the preparation process. Finally, investors must set a clear financial strategy before walking into an exchange appointment. This includes deciding whether to exchange all holdings at once or to stage the transactions over time, and consulting with a licensed financial advisor about diversification. Working with a tax planner is also vital to minimize liabilities and ensure compliance. This comprehensive financial planning is a vital part of a proactive strategy. The essence of this action plan is both simple and vital. Preparation is the key to access. Those who wait until the official exchange windows open may find themselves unprepared and scrambling to catch up. In contrast, those who have been disciplined and proactive will move through the process confidently. This new reality is no longer about waiting for rumors to materialize. It is about being ready for a process that is already in motion. As with any major financial opportunity, The rise of a legitimate system is often shadowed by fraudulent schemes designed to exploit excitement and confusion. Reports are already surfacing of fake brokers attempting to charge upfront fees for priority processing, a tactic that preys on the sense of urgency investors feel after the Gazette release. Other scams involve impersonators posing as CBI officials or bank representatives, often contacting holders through various channels to solicit personal information or banking details. Particularly concerning is the proliferation of fraudulent websites and Telegram groups that promise exclusive early access or secret contract rates in exchange for deposits or personal banking information. The rule of thumb for investors cannot be repeated enough. Legitimate banks and government agencies will never request upfront payments or cold call clients for redemptions. Any such request should be immediately treated as a major red flag and reported to the proper authorities. Investors are strongly advised to verify all communication directly through official channels. The unfortunate reality is that scammers thrive in moments of transition and uncertainty. With real infrastructure now in motion, their tactics are becoming more sophisticated. Vigilance is no longer optional. It is an essential part of safeguarding both your currency holdings and your personal identity. Protecting your information and being aware of these common scams is a fundamental component of a responsible approach to the exchange process. Another critical area that is often overlooked in speculative discussions is taxation. In the United States, the IRS classifies all currency exchanges as taxable events. Ignorance of this fact will not exempt holders from penalties. For currency held for less than 12 months, profits will be taxed as ordinary income, potentially reaching as high as 37%. For holdings held for more than 12 months, gains may qualify as long-term capital gains, taxed at rates ranging from 15% to 20%. Furthermore, investors with significant holdings must be aware of international reporting obligations. Specifically, individuals with assets exceeding $50,000 for single filers or $100,000 for joint filers are required to disclose these assets on IRS Form 8938, which tracks foreign financial assets. Failure to file this form can trigger severe penalties, including fines and audits. Given this complexity, financial advisors highly recommend engaging a CPA or tax attorney well before initiating any exchange. Proper structuring and planning can help to mitigate liabilities and protect your potential profits from unnecessary erosion. The publication of Iraq's exchange framework in the Iraqi Gazette marks a watershed moment in the long history of dinar speculation. For years, the conversation was dominated by rumors and hope without any verifiable evidence. That era has now come to an end. With a legally documented roadmap now in place, investors face a new reality where preparation and execution, not speculation, are what will determine their outcomes. The question is no longer about whether a revaluation or exchange process will happen, but whether individual investors are prepared to participate effectively when it does. This means asking essential, self-reflective questions. Have you verified and recorded your holdings? Are your documents notarized and accessible? Have you consulted with professionals to create a tax and exchange strategy that will maximize your return while keeping you compliant with all regulations? The window for action is opening now, but it may not stay open indefinitely. Just as markets move quickly, so will this new exchange system, prioritizing those who are prepared and organized. Some individuals will inevitably hesitate, waiting for further confirmation, only to find themselves on the outside looking in. Others, the prepared and the informed, will step forward with confidence to secure their financial future. The difference between these two outcomes will not be a matter of luck or timing, but of readiness. The system is no longer waiting for speculation to catch up. It is already here, and the only question that remains is, are you ready to step in?